Morning then, Shorts fans. Welcome to another vlog. Where is she? Got the old ball and chain on the e-bike following today. We're on a mission. We're off to see if we can find the most expensive and the cheapest coffee in Andorra. That's today's training. So about 10 minutes in, 20 minutes in, and we're already 10 minutes away from the closest cafe. So we're gonna crack on. First cafe, I'll take you around. Let's have a gander. Right, cafe stop number one. We're only about 20 minutes in. We've come to Cafe Gur in Encamp. It was, I forget how much it was. How much was it? Was it $3.50 for a flat white? It was $3.50 for a flat white, and you had a
iced caramel latte.
That, yeah. So a few rules to this are: it has to be a flat white everywhere we go, so we can't go somewhere and order something and it'd be more expensive because it's a different coffee. And we're also ruling out any main high street brands like Starbucks or Costa or whatever, because we looked online and we found out that Starbucks will be the most expensive. We did a bit of research. Their coffee, their flat white was $3.90. So nearly €4 for a flat white, and it'd be a pretty boring video if we just went straight to Lavea and ordered one of these Starbucks. So we're going to go up the mountain, see what we can find. I think we're going to go as high as Soldeu, don't we? And then all the way back down, back through the tunnels, maybe La Massana, up to Aransol, see what's there. I think then we have to start looking for the cheapest. I think here we might have maxed out. Do you think we maxed
brulee.
out here? Brulee, how much is the coffee there?
I'm not sure, but a pastry $7.50.
Okay, so we think there's it's going to be a pretty expensive day.
Are we having a coffee at every single one?
Yeah, that's the point. And then we've also got some coffee chat. A few people have asked what we think of the new UCI rules that are going to come in force as of next year.
Oh, I thought you meant coffee chat as in about the coffee.
Or that as well. Right, we're waiting for these coffees. We'll let you know when they come. And I'm not a coffee sommelier, so I can't judge, but we'll let you know how we get on.
Oh, Vibe Evos.
This coffee cup doesn't have a handle.
Also, I'm a little bit confused what's going on here.
It's a coffee. An iced.
I've never seen it's an iced cappuccino.
Yeah, they didn't do an iced latte, but they did an iced cappuccino.
I mean, lovely.
We actually got it wrong, so the coffee was $2.50. I think what we'll do is, if we see somewhere more expensive, and we're going for the expensive one, if we see another $2.50, then we don't need to.
Wowzers.
Oh yeah?
I'll try some. It's very sweet.
It's like a.
It's like a milkshake.
Yeah, it's like an ice cream in a glass, isn't it? In a glass.
Nice.
Tastes like good coffee. The $2.50, I definitely think we'll find somewhere more expensive than this.
I think though there is a question mark over if a cafe con leche and a flat white the same thing.
Okay. I mean, to me, that's a cafe con leche with a fancy bit of art on the top.
Yeah, but I bet if you'd ordered a cafe con leche here, it would be cheaper than a flat white.
I think you ordered a cafe con leche, I think they'll bring you that.
Is there a menu?
Yeah.
Maybe we look on the menu.
Well, that lasted what?
How long was this? How expensive
seconds.
was this?
I'm not sure actually. I imagine quite expensive.
It's giving me expensive.
An iced cappuccino was, I don't know, I can't remember. And then there was like a shot added to it, and then varying things. Happy?
Nice.
Ratings out of 10?
Solid 9.
It's not really a coffee, is it?
No, it could do with a bit more coffee. That would make it a 10. Like it could do with being a bit more iced coffee and a bit less milkshake. But it's nice.
Cool.
finish these.
It's going to be a lot slower if...
Try and find the next one. Where are we going? Where are we going to go next? We think we're going to go to...
I can't remember what it's called. There's a cycling, like... There's an actual cycling cafe in Sordo.
Okay.
Is it called, like... I want to say it's called, like, De Bosque or something.
Yeah. Okay. We can find it.
Everyone seems to go there, and this is really nice.
Speedy. So, just coming into Caneo. Got a load of that. Must admit, I was expecting more than 250 for a flat white there. So deal is, if it's more expensive, we have to drink it. So yeah, I thought we were gonna go in pretty high then, so I might end up having more coffees than we planned. But yeah, we're off to Soldeu, up the mountain, to find another cafe, to see what we can find. It's a little bit busy today, but gear change and holding cameras, not easy. It's quite funny on the e-bike. On the flat villages, so much quicker, and then we get to a steep section, and he just catches me. Ferrari! Oh, these boys. Reckon they know. No. GT3 Touring, lovely. Right, so this is Caneo. On the way back through, might stop here, try and find the cheapest coffee. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's crack on.
So we've come up to, what's this cafe called? Del Bosch.
Why is pale usually? Or is this backline thing?
This is why the video's gone for so long.
Sorry.
It's full of your drivel.
We're at where?
I don't know what it's called. It was your suggestion.
Del Bosch.
€3 here for a flat white. So we've gone at 50 cent. We did look at a few places en route to see how much a normal coffee would be. See if we can find the cheapest one, and we haven't found one yet. So we're still looking for the cheapest one. We also have a few cafes in mind that we think we're going to go to. So the owner of Gruppetta is sat on the table over there. So he's obviously scouring out other businesses, his competition. Hope he's paying full retail for that coffee. He also has a YouTube channel, so go check him out. It's called Willie Smith, South African rider. Rides for the Chinese team. What's it called? What's the Chinese team called?
I don't know. Does it say on his jersey? These are the very cycling destination cafes.
I was thinking that's why they'd be expensive. So yeah, right, we're just waiting for a coffee and.
Also, I feel like this is a bigger flat white.
For me, that's a better coffee.
I'm a bit concerned that you're not going to sleep for the next few days. Are you going to start having decaf?
No, I feel that cheats the task.
So if we go to three more coffees, you have 3 more flat whites.
Yeah, this is more like, this is a less fancy coffee. That one was quite fancy. How's your Aquarius?
Aquarius-y.
Probably pronouncing this completely wrong.
Beige.
Low in calories.
Bayo? I'm going Bayo.
Bajo N.
Bajo what?
Bajo N calories. Bajo N calories. Yeah, I mean I nicked it pretty quick. I feel like I need to slow down and savour them a little bit. So where do you want to go next?
I think we go Gruppetta Brulee. But yeah, Gruppetta Brulee. I think Gruppetta and Brulee are both more expensive than 250.
I think Brulee will be more expensive.
I think Gruppetta might be.
If anyone's wondering what my plaster's for, my scars from the Giro have started to blister in the sun, haven't they? It's pretty sunny now. Obviously we're quite high, so it started to blister. So we're trying to cover them up as much as possible. And sun cream wasn't quite cutting the mustard, was
I think
it?
we need sunblock, like 50 sun creams, not enough.
Ultimate sunblock.
Do you know the one where it's like comes in like a
Stick, like a bar of soap. Well, let's finish up here. Let's go find Cold Ordy now.
the cheapest? They'll be at our own house.
Fine then, we'll go home for lunch. Oh, I wanted my pancakes.
But that is true because we've got those coffee beans.
We do.
Right then folks, we're on the foot of the Cold Ordino now, and we stopped at a few places in Caneo, like more like restaurant-y places. Couldn't find a flat white. It's bizarre. I thought we'd be able to find one for like €1 or something, so yeah. The money saving philosophy of the cheap flat white isn't going so well. We're very good at finding the expensive ones. About 30-minute climb now. The views are sensational. What mode are you on, Ali? Turbo? Full power. How many watts is that?
How many watts are you doing?
Enough?
I'm not really pedaling.
Oh. Maybe we should turn.
Maybe I should turn it down a bit.
Yeah, that'd be good.
There we go.
Yeah. Good shout. Oh dear. Right then.
I'm medium then.
Yeah. Ducati Club. Yeah, get some good footage. Don't get this guy in. Not a bad view, is it? No, it's just like an iPhone.
It's looking at me.
The double.
Oh, I was clicking this button, it just kept focusing on myself. Oh,
Got to do it all again now.
we're on the attack.
Fun fact for you. Lucas, the kid we just passed, his grandfather is, his godfather, he's Heinrich Gabriel Selassie. There you go. Impressive. What do you reckon this is? Oh, here we go. Cafe Amber Leche, $3.50.
$3.50? That's because you just had to ride up here.
Yeah, but that was that's the most expensive so far. The rule was if we see the most expensive one, we got to stop. I didn't want to stop. Yeah, I think it's going to be more than $3.50 at Brule, so I think we pretend we didn't see this one.
Brilliant. Okay.
I don't know what that says. Kilometre Zero Slow Food. Oh, is that the name of the cafe? Kilometre Zero?
I don't really know how this thing works. Like if I look up, it doesn't move. Like the camera.
It's because it's set on stabilise.
Oh, right.
So you can move it and it just holds the things in frame.
Let's go.
Oh, I hate being unfit.
Most expensive one so far we've found $320. But the other place was more expensive.
What place was more expensive?
On the climb.
Oh yes, sorry.
So we thought this was going to be the most expensive, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought this would be more than that actually. However, we value for money. We got free cake.
From the traditional cake from San Giulio. I mean, it's more like
Is it like a brioche?
it's like a lemon brioche. It needs some Nutella or something, doesn't
A
it?
bit of icing.
So we've not actually had the most expensive coffee in Andorra that we found yet, have we? Well, we said we wouldn't go to Starbucks anyway, but what's the verdict on the ice?
That's far more coffee. Whoa!
Yeah, it's more like a.
But this is a shaken iced.
All right, James Bond, chill out.
It is. She shook it.
Shaken, not stirred. So, in the news this week, the UCI have will put a ban on aero helmets in road races. They'll put a ban on narrow handlebars and deep wheels. And people are
How
saying,
deep are wheels?
I think ultra deep, like 80s.
Oh.
So I think you'll be limited to like a 50.
Oh, okay. So that won't make a massive difference. So how often do you race with 80s?
I never.
So that's not a massive
No,
difference.
but like 60s I think is the general thing.
Or like 55.
And people are saying that the new handlebar rule of limiting it to 32s on the tops, I think it's 40s on the bottom.
32's on the top.
32s on the tops and a 40 on the drops, that it will disproportionately affect women more than men, which we're going to measure your bars when we get home, but I don't think it's going to be a massive issue because 32 on the tops, I don't think most manufacturers make anything narrower than that anyway.
No.
So I don't think that's a massive issue. And it'll disproportionately affect them compared to men, yes, but they don't race against men.
Yeah, but I guess, yeah, but it really hurts your shoulders if you ride bars that are too wide. But I'm not the smallest, like, I'm not that narrow. Like, I'm not that much narrower than you, shoulder-wise.
True.
But, like, if you were really little, if you were a lot shorter than me, you may really struggle.
I think all it'll do is manufacturers will now just make a UCI standard handlebar size. And everyone will now ride literally the same handlebar, and it'll just be the length you change.
I think when we measure mine, that'll help.
Yeah.
The whole like women argument, because then I'll know. I can't think about like in comparison to mine until we've got a tape measure. I don't think.
The aero helmets. I mean, my whole issue in general. My issue with is as a rider, I wasn't aware that any of these things were particularly coming into play. This was just sort of made public by the UCI about 2.5-3 weeks ago. I feel like, say there's a list of 10 things that the UCI could have done, and if you put them into priority of what would make it the most safest, they've picked the least important 3 or 4 things.
The easiest ones.
Yeah,
to do,
that are maybe the cheapest and the ones that make it look like they're doing something. And I know it's so easy to sit here and say, oh, okay, no, I disagree because they're not doing enough, and there's people at the UCI that are going to be like, oh god, we're trying to do stuff, but people aren't giving us time before criticising us. Maybe that's also a factor that we need to give them more time to actually do their jobs. But to me, it just feels like they've gone.
What is the argument for them? Like narrow bars so you're more stable and you can turn a bit more.
This is also my problem. So my problem is
deep sections and wind, maybe.
And aero helmets because of it's not a safety
lack of vision.
I don't.
Maybe like you haven't got much.
This is what I mean, is my problem with it is, it's more, to me, it seems like they've just gone, okay, we don't want helmets because they look stupid, we don't want deep wheels because of this, and we don't want handlebars because of this. Which is worrying, because their job is to govern the sport for the safety and the future of the sport, and it feels like their dictatorship has just gone, yeah, we're going to ban them because we want them banned, which to me leaves the sport at the discretion of them, not doing the discretion of them doing what they think is best, not what potentially is best for the sport or best for the riders, because there's no criteria as to why you would want to ban an aero helmet.
Surely they must have put one out though. We just haven't
read
it.
Where is it? I've never seen it. I don't think there is.
Maybe we need to have a look.
But to me, they've come up with these rules just because they want them.
Well, they're now talking about gear restrictions, aren't they?
There's a potential. But there's a...
I guess to generally slow your average speeds down?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, like, you say, okay, slow average speeds down. Make races longer would slow them down, because you wouldn't be able to sustain the same effort.
That would cost more money though, wouldn't
So
it?
you could make
The organisation.
But we're fit enough and fast enough to do it, that we could do it within the time frame. Like, it's not going to be... They've already paying the police for a whole day. Does it make a difference if they do an extra 30k?
Well, it'd be being convenient for us trying to watch, because it's already difficult to get to the start and the finish, so...
Yeah, but we'd be slowed down. We'd go slower, so it gives people more time to get from A to B, and there's further to go. Like, when I first turned professional, you never really had these days of like 115k, where like now, nearly every World Tour stage race is finished with something like that. Like, I never really had, I was like, whoa, 1500 at 115k with 3,500 altitude meters was like a big, ooh, wow, never had that before. And now it's like every other race finishes with a week-long race finishes with the last day, which is pretty similar. It's good because I think it gives people time to get to the airport and stuff, but I think that would make it slower, doing longer. Because I just don't think, if it was 200k when you look at the 200k stages, all right, we start racing a lot further than we ever did before, but we don't race from kilometre zero like we would if it was a
shorter stage.
You know.
Just have to see. I guess you have to, in one way, entrust the UCI. You have no other option. Like, we've got to hope that they are making a decision backed by an idea of safety.
But this is why I find it dangerous that we're at the discretion of their dictatorship more than it's not gone to a vote, hasn't gone to a poll, we're not aware of any criteria. Like, if they could say, okay, this is the criteria for banning equipment, and they're going to say there's seven criterias, and it has to meet at least 5 of the 7 for it to be banned. So, for example, like when WADA ban a substance has to fit a criteria before it's banned.
So Google says that the UCI are banning aero road helmets in road races due to concerns about rider safety and the potential that aero helmets are used more for performance enhancement rather than their intended protective function. This decision comes after a review of helmet design trends, which saw manufacturers focusing more on aerodynamics rather than safety in these helmets. I mean, that's quite a valid point.
They're banning a safety product because it's too safe.
They don't think it's they don't think it's safe enough.
They passed the legislations to be sold as a helmet, so
I mean, but they have got a review.
Yeah.
It's a review of helmet designs.
Yeah.
So they have got a bit of science. We'll let them off.
I have to see something though.
That, like, maybe they weren't, like, let's be honest, they probably didn't think, oh, is this a safe helmet in the world? They were really focused on making it like the most aero, and then went, oh yeah, and it happens to be safe enough to pass. But you know how, like, some helmets, they reach like sun cream, like some reach a different level. Like, you can have factor 50 high star UVA, and you can have like factor 50 low star UVA. Like, there's different, but they still all reach the same criteria. So I mean, it would work if then manufacturers started having to make like a certain level of safety helmet, like that one day that you race in or whatever has to be even more safe.
Yeah, but they are approved. They're CE approved.
But maybe they're just upping the regulation even more.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
The thing is though, do the UCI really think that because they've banned aero helmets, that's going to stop manufacturers like trying to develop and gain things on other products? They're just going to develop a new product with a wind tunnel to make the next, fast thing. And I mean, if it's to slow the sport down, then maybe so, yeah.
Well,
But then,
I think hopefully that whatever their trial they did about it showed you were way safer, and now everyone's going to be way more safer because they're running around in road helmets.
I do agree that like the point of a helmet is for safety, and that safety should be the priority over performance. I think that's where they need to, because as well, so like POC invest, let's say a manufacturer's invested, I don't know what it costs to develop a helmet like that, but when you think of a safety feature like that, they've probably got to develop it to quite a high level to cover their back on insurance and stuff. So if somebody tried to sue them for a head injury, that they could say, okay, no, well, hold on a minute. So, so that they invest, say they invest, I don't know, 10 million quid in the development of a helmet, and it's only been on the market for 3 years. They've not seen the return on that 10, 15 million quid investment. So like, it leaves a manufacturer in a point where like they're not maybe, or they don't want to, or they can't develop the products they want to because they just don't know what the UCI is going to do next. Does that make sense? Like, if you were a manufacturer, you can't afford to every time you put 10 million quid into a helmet or a bike frame or a set of wheels that after 3 years you're just not going to see the return on it.
But not all helmets are as safe as others. Like even motorbike helmets have different rating standards, don't they?
Yeah, that's true.
And like if I was on my motorbike, I would rather be in a helmet that is the highest quality. Like we don't buy cheap motorbike helmets.
No.
Like we will go for the highest rating one we can get.
Yeah. Like when I shop for my helmet to ride my motorbike in, I probably shop via rating over.
So maybe there is a rating depending on them. But it's not as like on bike helmets, not motorbike helmets. They don't have like a sticker on saying a rating often, do they? Like it's not as marketed.
Push bike helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the standards in motorcycles, because like when you go to track days, you have to have certification on your helmet, or it has to have passed a different type of certification. Whereas, as far as I understand, with cycling helmets, it's just CE approved to be sold, because everything that we ride has to be commercially available to the public.
Yeah.
We can't ride anything that's so it's not like Formula 1 or MotoGP where you can develop something that's not commercially available to the public.
So maybe the UCI have a point.
So do you reckon then that the UCI, if they're going to do this, need to implement their own safety standard to say helmets have to pass this regulation?
I mean, that would be great if they did.
But
like having a gold rating would be great.
But the thing is though, like, so going back to what I said at the start of, I think they're just, to me, nip the problem at the bud in trying to stop the crashes, as opposed to trying to change the aids that prevent damage of a crash. Because if you don't crash, you don't hit your head.
Yeah, I mean, definitely reducing the likelihood of crashes is brilliant. Like that's great, but also at least the things like helmet regulation. If an accident happens, it's still there.
Yeah, no. But like at the minute, I feel helmets are at a good enough level and safe enough to do their job. I feel that helmets do their job more than adequate, and technology and like what POC have and the MIPs and like the built-in MIPs and other brands.
Maybe someone just thought it looked silly.
Yeah, I mean.
So then they.
That is what I mean by like, is it just the discretion of the UCI just doing what they want, or do they genuinely have people's best interest at heart? So I don't know.
Let's hope it's best.
Because nobody puts regulation on sunglasses.
Yeah, don't they have to be non-shatterproof?
No, non-shatterproof. So they're CE approved. The UCI haven't. That's not the UCI's criteria. European Union, I presume. But that's all your helmet's passed. Your helmet hasn't passed any UCI certification to be used in a bike race.
Well, maybe that's something they
Where
should look at.
for track days and motorbike racing, they have to be approved by the governing bodies.
Yeah, mine doesn't say anything about anything.
No, but it'll have a CE sticker on.
I don't think he has one of those.
Yeah, it must have. It must have. Or it wouldn't allow it to be. One year we got a load of helmets. So when I was riding for, I can't remember who it was now. We got a load of Giros, and basically they were like Giro Asia Market, and they didn't have the CE stamp logo on.
Oh,
and
is
we
it
all
in
got
there?
sent new ones. There, mine's there. UKCA, and then the CE logo.
Oh, mine
See
says.
that one?
I don't think I should be riding around in there.
That logo there, the CE one.
Oh yeah, mine's got that one.
Yeah, that's your.
But I don't have a
the
UK
CE,
one.
CE approved.
Mine just says applies with EN 1078 safety standard.
Yeah. I mean, I do think POC. I mean, looks are subjective. I don't mind. I like the look of this one. I think they're good. But I do think POC's up there with like the safest helmets you can have. Like that one, I crashed in this model at the Tour the other year. I know it goes as far as saying it saved my life.
I think it did save your life.
I'm not saying that another helmet of another brand wouldn't have, but I'm glad that this one was on my noggin at the time. Maybe what we do, shall I get in touch with the guy at POC and see if he wants to do a bit of a podcast on helmets and safety and
That would be interesting.
if that's something you guys would like to see.
That would be good.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Maybe we'll try and do that one this week.
What, the podcast? Wow, speedy. Speedy. Otherwise, maybe I have to ride around in my motorbike helmet everywhere.
Well, yeah, but that's CE approved, so you're alright.
Yeah, but not gold standard approved.
You need to inquire with someone at POC that knows a little bit more about.
Standards of helmets.
Because these should have a CE stamp logo. Look, there you go. Look, they've got a CE stamp logo on as well.
Oh yeah, mine have.
Product of Italy, yours. Oh, mine are made in Italy as well.
Interesting.
Italian sunglasses.
Mine was expensive.
Yeah, this was more expensive than the other place. So it was €4.20 for an ice. So I thought
We can have. I've got overall bills. What was the overall bill? Oh, my friend.
it was $3.50 at the other place.
Oh, really? With the caramel in as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's much better value for money.
Yeah, and I'd argue that it was
And it was
maybe
bigger.
a sweeter, more dessert-like coffee, but that was more of a
That's a bit more basic.
cold coffee. Yeah.
€6 at Gur.
Oh yeah.
Total we spent. But to be fair, to put these into pounds for the people that are in the UK,
Oh yeah, go on then. Convert into pounds, €7.40.
Which is
in
six-
sterling today.
£6.34 came out of my account.
£6.34 for two coffees.
Yeah, but what makes it even better is it was £4.71 at the last one we went to, where I had the Aquarius and you had the drink.
Yeah.
And then the first one, where my coffee was definitely the best one I've had yet, was only £5.14. In the UK, £5.14 would have just got me that drink.
So the
like if
most-
I go to Starbucks in the UK, I know we're not supposed to be doing like chains, but for example, if I had one there or like a cafe in the Peak District, you'd be looking at £5.
If you went to Coleman's Deli in Hathersage, you'd pay £4.
Or the really nice one in Chatsworth Estate that I really like, Eden Store Cafe.
Yeah, that's an expensive one.
That's a good cafe though.
So what we're saying actually is
in comparison to home,
we didn't try Andorra's most expensive coffee,
so we failed our whole
but we did
mission.
find one at €3.50. We don't know if it was any good, but it might have been.
It didn't
Most
look very
expensive
good.
coffee we tried was €3.20. The cheapest one that we did try was €2.50.
And currently, I think they're winning.
I thought they were going to be the most. I thought we were going to find a way cheaper coffee
Place than
somewhere else.
that.
I thought we were going
It
to.
was quite a fancy
Because we
cafe.
tried a few of these restaurant bar things. I was thinking it was going to be like €1.50
No,
flat whites. Didn't find any of them.
I
which we
think
thought we
they
were going to find.
specialise in like an Aperol spritz
Maybe we need to do this again.
rather than. I bet their Aperol spritz is like €3
Aperol Spritz tour.
rather than the coffee.
But there are a few cafes we didn't try or we haven't been to yet, which is Gruppetta in La Massana, which we think.
And we haven't at all been into Lavea.
And we haven't all been into Lavea, but we know that Starbucks would have been the most expensive, about €3.90 was it for a flat
Yeah, but
white?
if you were coming to Andorra to ride your bike, you're not riding your bike into Lavea.
No.
That would be a bit strange.
No. There was Riverside Cafe in Lavea that again was quite expensive. I looked online at them. I can't remember what it was. I think it was about $3.60. So we've not really done a very good job here, have we? This is not consumer advice.
Yeah, it's consumer advice of the cycling destination cafes.
Oh, okay.
It's Andorra's cycling destination cafe flat white rating.
Wow, the clickbait on that will be astronomical.
Yeah. It's not just the cheapest flat white in Andorra, it's cycling destination cafe.
Cycling destination cafe flat white.
Because they are. All the places we've been to are renowned. Like, we have bumped into people we know
We've
on
just seen
bikes
push
at
bike
every
riders
single
all
one.
day, haven't we?
Literally. There was like 4 at the first one, 5 at the other one, 2 here, not including ourselves.
Maybe we need to actually do a part 2 to this and go and find a cheap coffee. Maybe this is just going to have to be expensive coffees.
Maybe.
Do you want to do the outro?
What does the app? Well, we've not been to Gruppetta yet.
Oh, we're going there now?
Are we not going there now?
So we'll go for lunch? I'll have lunch at home.
I'm not eating lunch on my own.
Well, I'll sit there with you.
No, it's fine. I'll have lunch on my own. So are we going to Gruppetta at all? Or have we abandoned? Are we out
Well,
of...
we don't think it's going to be the cheapest, do we? We don't. It's not going to be more than that, and it's not going to be the cheapest. It's not going to be less than $2.50.
Maybe you have to call them.
Yeah. Or that's part 2. So if you'd like a part 2, like, comment, subscribe. What videos are what coming up? We'll try and get in touch with POC, someone at POC, and do a video podcast with them talking about what safety standards these things actually meet or don't meet, or how they go about it. You know what I'd love to do is go to POC HQ in Sweden.
Ooh, that would be good.
Somebody suggested the idea of going to Nimble and going to do a tour of the Nimble factory, which I would also love to do.
Yeah, I'd like to do that too.
Yeah.
If you can have a +1.
Okay, so if you want to see that, you've got to subscribe, because they're not going to do it while we've only got 2,800 followers. We need a lot more.
That is true.
So if you can subscribe, because we can see that only 50% of you are actually subscribed, which is disappointing. So go click the bell icon, do all the thing, play the algorithm, comment on things you want to see. Let us know if you've enjoyed Ellie and you'd like to see her in more videos, or if you think she should be sacked.
There's only one answer to that.
What, that you should be sacked?
No. Can't say something mean, that's horrible.
Can't be sacked from a job you haven't got.
Yeah. Can't be sacked when I volunteered.
And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
go home and find out. Fat dog.
Don't fat shame her.